If you're losing clients after 3 months, it's probably not a pricing problem, it's probably not a delivery problem, and it's not even probably a offer problem. It's because of something that happens within the first 30 days that guarantees that they'll fire you by month 3. And 99% of agency owners probably have no idea this is happening. I'm about to show you the exact moment your client decides to leave you, and it's probably not what you think. I'm Parker, I'm a CEO at a 7-figure agency, and we've went from a 3-month client retention to over a year, and some clients even staying up to 4 years because we solved a problem that we discovered very early on. And I can predict within 90% which clients are going to churn versus which clients are going to retain just from the first 90 days with us. Last month, I got a call with an agency owner who's doing over 45K a month, and he's getting great results for his clients. He got a 3x ROAS. He thought everything was going well, but people were still churning. And it was a problem within the relationship of the client and what systems he had set up during the onboarding process in that first 90 days that actually was going to allow clients to stay for even longer. So I've showed him this and it helped him immensely. And he's now brought his retention to over 6 to 9 months from 3 months. And we're continually improving that so he can build his lifetime value for his customer even longer. So I'm going to share in this video exactly what I shared with him to help you make your clients stay longer, to again build that lifetime value and bring in more revenue from your agency by dialing in your back end in your onboarding process. So to do this, I'm going to share a little story about Versatile beforehand. So when we first started around the 15 to 30K a month mark, we only had a 3 to 4 month retention. It was very, very shit because we were charging monthly costs on a monthly retainer. The first month, it was like, okay, we're in the real estate space, so we can't get results right away, but just trust the process. They saw leads coming in, there's a couple appointments, and they're kind of sticking with the process. Month 2, even more concerned. Month 3, really concerned, and that's when they decide, hey, I'm going to try to find someone else. This is not working for me. Even if they have leads and appointments, it wasn't converting, and we had no idea how to keep them. So at this time, the first thing we had to fix was the sales process. We found beforehand that there was such an expectation mismatch going on within our sales call, where we were offering crazy guarantees, leads in 30 days, a deal in a month or two, like just the craziest guarantees to try to sell people up front. And when the client hears this, all they hear is guaranteed leads day 1. I want to see results as fast as possible. Within 14 days, I want a deal to cover my costs to keep going. Like, the expectations when you offer crazy guarantees in the front end are so misaligned, and it's going to hurt you a lot later down the line. During the sales process, we had no proof shown. There's such a lack of authority. We had no testimonials or case studies that we could share. So we needed to offer that crazy guarantee up front to get bypass that. Again, the crazy guarantees, we offered a 10x ROI, which is absolutely insane, especially where we didn't have the service fully dialed in, and we're in the real estate niche and it's very, very high ticket. So to get a big return fast is very unrealistic. We had no testimonials shown, zero social proof during the sales process or the calls. We just had to handle the objections and say either lie or just say that we have it handled and not to worry about it. And again, offer the crazy guarantee or your money back. We did all this so we could chase clients as fast as possible. We wanted to get them on the call, sell them right away from a cold audience or a cold text or cold DM. We just wanted as many clients as possible. And this resulted in such a bad churn rate, which worsened everything over time. And we had to redo all of our offers, all of our sales process to be able to keep clients for longer and actually build a long-term agency. So with the fixed sales process and what our process looks like now to retain clients more than a year is to have realistic timelines. So in the sales call, we would say results typically come in 45 to 60 days. The reality is the setup takes 2 weeks, testing takes 2 weeks. The first month or two is this full testing, trust the process, trust the team. This is like the stock market where you invest in now and you may see the return later. And we're setting just as many expectations as possible. And you'll find people in the sales calls will actually respect this. And it puts you apart from other agencies, again, offering those crazy guarantees when you're being really realistic and you're showing them how marketing works and actually showing them results on what they can get 3 months down the line from now. Now, of course, in order to do this, we had to have a proof library. So we have a database of a bunch of referral partners that we have within the program. Again, this is going to take time to actually build the stuff that we have now, but this is ideally what this would look like. So we have a bunch of referral partners. We have testimonial videos all over our landing page, all over our website, showing crazy results from real clients on a Zoom call so they know it's not edited. We have belief building processes when the sales call, so it's just kind of show them like what it would take to get them to this point, from point A to point B, what it would actually take in a timeline to get there. Again, just being super realistic about the service and the results they're going to be getting. And with all of this, you're just attracting way better fit clients. Like, Like I said, I can know right when a client is onboarding whether they're going to stay or not just by how they're talking in that kickoff meeting, how they think our service works. Like we have clients now that we sign and they're like, I don't even care about the first 3 to even 6 months if we're profitable. I'm here for the long term, and I know you guys are good at what you do and you're very realistic. And like those are the best clients that you can get. They're not going to cause you stress, no headaches on the team. They're really here for the long term and to see long term growth. And this whole sales process is just so dialed in nowadays where every client that comes in, I absolutely love. But again, when you have testimonials like this on your landing page of someone getting 120,000 USD profit within just 7 months using the system, things get a lot easier. So again, this is a whole process to get to this point, but you really would just want to focus on building the testimonials and case studies so you can eventually switch over your offer and just make sure everything is a lot more realistic. The second part is the onboarding black hole. So again, in our past days, probably 2 years ago now, when our client churn was 3 months, this is the old way. So day one, they would get a welcome email and there would be 13 days with zero contact. And then we're say, hey, we're working on it. Let's set up the launch call. Let's keep going. And during this time, when you're not messaging them for the first 1 to 2 weeks, their anxiety is just building and building and building. So day one, they have like no anxiety. They just paid the sales call. They got sold in the sales call. They're already excited. Obviously, they sent you the money. And then over time, the more you don't message them and don't update them of what's going on, and the longer the onboarding takes, their anxiety just creeps and creeps and creeps to the point where they almost get panicked. They may even send you an email saying that they changed their mind. They want a refund. They want to go with someone else. So this is a massive, massive part of the onboarding process is to make sure those first 14 days, they're getting touch points to keep their anxiety down, keep them calm, keep them trusted in your service. During this old way, behind the scenes, our team was just frantically setting up campaigns, building funnels and go high level, creating ad creatives. We're working our asses off, but the client had zero idea because we weren't contacting them. We had no auto updates. We had no manual updates from people updating them. Like we were behind the scenes, like how the fuck can we make this work and build it out? And we're so excited for it. But on the other side, the client has no idea what's going on and feel like they're just being left out. So now with the new system that we have and what you should be implementing in your agency is day one, they get a welcome call, a roadmap. So again, instead of just a kickoff meeting of asking for their logins, they're actually getting a full welcome call. It's like, thanks for joining our service. This is what we do. This is the results you can expect. This is our team member who's going to be your direct contact. These are the systems we have set up. These are some frequently asked questions we usually get during the onboarding process. Like that first call is super, super important to have. And then we also have progress videos. So we'll send over Loom videos of us building up the landing pages, building up the ads, kind of showing them behind the scenes what's going on. Day 7, milestone update. So again, more screenshots of, hey, this ad creative got built out. Let me know your thoughts or approvals. Keep them going. And then when the setup is complete, then you can send that message and then send them a link for a launch call saying, hey, everything is ready. Let's hop on a Zoom call, make sure everything's approved. And this launch call is where you can set even more expectations, which we'll go over in the next module. So again, instead of that creeping and building anxiety, people are just fully trusted from day one. Day one, they have 90% trust. Again, they just give you money in the sales call. And as you update them, that just continues. They still feel trusted to the day that you launch their actual ads. This whole experience just makes everything feel white gloved. It feels very customized. It feels like the client's being heard. It doesn't feel like you're putting that client off and you're focusing on other clients at the same time. Like they feel like they are being taken care of and they're only client at your agency because of how much work and how many updates are being sent to them. And they overall just feel valued, which is a huge goal during the onboarding process. After the onboarding process is the launch call. So I'm going to repeat setting up a launch call as many times as possible until people actually start doing this, because again, it is a massive difference in the way clients perceive your service. So the old way, before we had these launch calls, there was just so much doubt and uncertainty even after we have everything set up. We would literally just send over screenshots of the landing page and ads we've built out. We say like, hey, does this look good? Any revisions? No? Okay, let's launch and get the ads ready. And again, they don't really know what's going on. They don't know the customer journey or how it works on the actual front end. So almost 40% of our clients would message back and be like, hey, I'm still like, don't understand what's going on, or had doubts, and we'd have to message them back and forth a lot more to try to rebuild their trust. They had a trial run mentality. So again, it's like they're the only client that signed up to the service. We feel like we're just testing on them. They have no idea what's going on. They think we're a new agency that we just started and we're noobs at the game. So overall with this outcome, there is very low confidence and very short retention because again, they're like, hey, I want to go with killers. I want to go with experts. I don't want to go with very novice people in the game. I want to know that I'm being taken care of. With the new way that we have set up, we go over a launch call. After that, everything is set up. We send them a link, a Zoom link to set up a launch call. And during this, we have a welcome agenda, the custom roadmap, industry benchmarks, proven processes, success metrics, free resources, kind of go over everything that makes it successful for a client to get, again, from point A to point B, what other clients have done to get there, what we do versus what you handle as a client, go over everything possible, which I'll show in some screenshots below. But this just creates a very established process that you can rinse and repeat for every single client and just be a market leader for your agency. Once you have these launch calls in place, then clients just feel so confident within your service because they've just been through the best onboarding experience ever. From day one to the launch call after a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes for you to onboard a client, they've just been constantly communicated, constantly been expectations reinforced. They just feel trusted, valued, and confident within your service. I genuinely believe this has helped go from 3 months to over a year-long retention just from having this launch call. Obviously, there is other aspects like the actual results of the service and systems we have set up, but this has helped immensely. So these are some examples of what we have in the launch call. Like you can kind of pause the video and read over them if you'd like, but goes over a bunch of case studies, goes over to be upfront of what the client needs to hear, not what they want to hear, kind of just reset the expectations and just make sure that they know like they have a huge responsibility in getting results. We can't just do everything for them. At the end of the day, we're bringing them leads, appointments, sales, whatever you offer as an agency, but they still have to close a deal. They still have to follow through and put in the work to make this really successful. And that's a huge aspect that we go over in this launch call. So they know that we're our partnership. We are a team. We are not your employees. We are a team together to work to get this result to help us both. Now, after the launch call, this is also very, very important. So now at this point, you are launched with your client. The services are starting to run, the ads are spending, or whatever you're doing for your agency. Now, the old way that we would have is we didn't have any success celebrations. We had no context provided on what was going on, what was working, what wasn't working. We had no roadmap updates. So like, what's the plan 3 months from now? Are we just going to do the same thing week over week and just expect better results? Or what's the roadmap going towards it? We had no competitive differentiation. So during the sales calls, we would sell them the world, how we're so different from these other agencies. But during the process, you're like, wow, this is kind of the same as every other agency I've been sold to before, or that has pitched me, where it's just running ads, they're doing calls, I'm getting a monthly report. What's the difference between you guys and why did I pay more for the service? So the timeline with this is week 5 to 6, they get maybe initial results, but 7 to 8, clients are questioning what's going on. 9 to 10, competitor circles around. Maybe they're getting pitched by their competitors and they're hopping on sales calls with them, kind of learning about what other people are doing. And then by that 12-week mark, you are fired and the client leaves. You are upset because you're just doing your service as you sold and you expected it to last way longer, and now they're getting fired and now you're watching this video to try to help it. With the new process after the launch call, when a client launches, we have weekly win emails or updates. That we use Slack for this instead of email, but it's the same thing where we're sending weekly wins of like, hey, we've gotten 70 leads this week. We have a 40% booking rate. We have 3 appointments booked. Please let us know the feedback on these appointments. Overall, this is our standard metrics. You're hitting over standard metrics. Things are going great. Let's keep continuing. This is what we're going to do next. We have progress updates, benchmark comparisons versus the industry versus our client average, and just again, build more value reinforcement of, hey, this is great. Our next steps, we want to get to this point, but before then, let's get this amount of leads, this amount of appointments, and really look at the data to see if it's working. Also, be constantly selling them on what you're doing for the agency. It's like, hey, we just invested 5 figures into hiring more team members or into this system to help out, and constantly be improving to, again, make that gap between your competitors just bigger and bigger to becoming an industry leader. And while doing this, it's going to make the client happy. You're going to build rapport with the client and be able to get testimonials and case studies where you can ask them to hop on a Zoom call, ask them about their experience, and as long as they say yes, they're happy, they're good, throw that on your landing page. And again, it's going to help you with better pricing, more realistic expectations during the sales calls. And this is overall going to combine into everything you need to have a longevity agency and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the overall income that you want is this proactive client engagement and value reinforcement after that launch call, just week over week, to make sure they are still good. Do not leave them in the dust. Do not make them feel unheard. You're going to have some clients that don't want to speak to you or just kind of want it to run in the background. But overall, you still want to be putting in effort to make sure that you're there for them. To help structure this and make sure it's consistent across client to client, I would definitely recommend setting up a project tool. So as you can see in the screenshot that we use Motion. It's similar to ClickUp. It's similar to Monday.com. Just make sure things are kind of just like processed in there and that you can oversee it. If you do have a team, then you can see what they're doing throughout the day. If it's for yourself, it's still great where you can set down tasks. You can set auto-renewing tasks for every single client that you onboard to check up with them on week 2, week 3, week 4, and just make sure there's a process in place. So this way you're not just sitting there like thinking day to day of what you should be doing. Things are just structured. You know what to check up with. You know which industry benchmarks to make in the reporting. All that good stuff is super, super clear and structured. So again, these first 30, 40, 60 days during your onboarding process are so important to keep clients. Like, it's so undervalued of how important this is. So many people are using just very standard onboarding processes. Again, we're just getting the logins, doing what everybody else does. But if you can really customize this experience and make it feel white gloved, this is going to help you more than you imagine. Obviously, when it comes to growth, there's so many different aspects when it comes to sales, offers, and results. But this onboarding process, I think you should really be fixing first, because it's super easy to fix by setting up a system. You can implement all the stuff I just talked about within a week, and you're going to see results from it. But overall, the old reality for us is that we had a 3-month client retention. We had constant churn anxiety from our clients. We're at like around 30K a month. I mean, 15 to 30K is the range where you're probably going to see this getting affected. We had a 40% renewal rate for clients, which sucked. And then overall just stagnation. And it was so hard every 3 months where our revenue would reset. We have to chase more people again. Morale for the team was low because we're just churning clients. We're building a bad reputation for our agency where we're not getting good Google reviews. If people talk to other people that we've worked with, they're saying like, I didn't have results for them. They kind of sucked. And it just hurts you so much down the line. Now with the new process, again, we have over a year retention. So some clients stay from a year to up to 2 to 3 years. We have our longest standing client is like 4.5 years, which is insane. We have predictable renewals. We have a renewal rate of 70%. So we know we're going to be getting extra income from people renewing either on a PIF or MRR model. And this really helps on the revenue side to help us grow. And yeah, we've gotten to over 150K months by implementing this process, and obviously a lot more processes that I can go over in different videos, like our meta ads process, what our sales looks like, how we can retain clients in that whole process. But overall, this has a huge impact on it. So I definitely recommend just making sure these first 60 days are dialed. And again, if you set up the right systems, you can apply this to any different accounts. As you can see here, the total active clients as I'm recording this video is 133 active clients, which is obviously a shit ton for an agency. And when we've been able to have a onboarding process that makes it feel very white gloved and customized with only 5 account managers, which is like basically CSMs for our agency. And yeah, all it takes is 5 people. We have a process set up. We use Motion to make sure the process is being delivered, and it's worked for 133 clients at this point. You can always customize other things, like Juma is a tool that you can look into if you want, that makes things a little bit more structured, has team prompts that you can use for messages or processes, building stuff out. Won't dive too much into that, but overall, yeah, we've done it for a shit ton of clients, so I know it works. Now, what I want you to do watching this video is create an action plan checklist. So I want you to audit your entire agency from 1 to 10 and to really make sure you know what is lacking or what's bottlenecking you from growth. So I would score your sales process. Are you building belief before closing? Rate that from 1 to 10. Your onboarding process, do clients feel valued in the first 14 days? Rank that from 1 to 10. Your launch calls, are you positioning yourself as market leaders during these calls? Again, 1 to 10. And communication, are you celebrating wins? Are you providing context of what's working, what's not working, what's against the industry average? Rank that from 1 to 10. Put these on a sheet and really find where your onboarding process can be improved. So obviously we can always improve in different ways, but this will really show you what is lacking during the process. And again, you can set this up super, super easy. You can create a launch call template like we have. I think I paid like 250 bucks on Fiverr to build ours out with all our branding and just make the copy with AI and make it look super, super clean. And again, makes you look like a market leader. You can build out the onboarding sequence I have in this video. Again, just set up a process for it and just overall audit your sales process to see where people are feeling aligned and if they feel like they're going to stay more than 3 months. Now, if you want, I've been opening up my new offer, Agency Autopilot, where I'm offering free agency operation audits. I only take 3 to 5 people every single month, just depending on how much time I have. Obviously, I'm still running Versatile Agency and full on that. But because we have it so systemized and the operations are dialed, I have extra time to help other agency owners, which I'm very passionate about. If you want that, there's a link in the bio. Click on the landing page, book in a call. We can go over an operations audit, see if it makes sense of me working with you to help scale your operations and get you to those 50, 100K plus months. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, I'm going to make some more kind of breaking down detail about the sales process, meta ads growth, and other processes to help you scale your agency. But if you have any questions or any want specific videos, leave it down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.